Do you take the red pill or the blue pill? Because one will shrink and one will grow. That's his real question in this.
That's going to be a meme.
I bet they put that in there.
It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a modern podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name's Mike Royer.
And this week we get a tiny look at that Ant-Man and Wasp movie coming out later this year.
Oh man, that pun's never been made, Chris.
No one's never made it. Haters are going to try to topple the king with Black Panther.
Oh my god. I already know what you're talking about, and that's so stupid. But...
It is hilarious is what it is. The Ninja Turtles get a new look, Mike.
All right.
And more. All
right. And we are recording this on the day of the big game, the Super Bowl, as they say. You know, I looked into it. You know, people are always out there really afraid to say Super Bowl because it's like trademarked or copyrighted or something like that. But the Mickey Mouse is copyrighted, and like Just Do It is copyrighted, and you can still say that stuff. So apparently the whole like mysticism around the word Super Bowl is just more fear, superstition. Like people just don't want to go through the hassle of possibly being sued by the NFL, so they just don't say Super Bowl. So I'm just going to say Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
So I'm going to tell you that yes, but you're also wrong. Having a degree in advertising, the Super Bowl is essentially a huge study every year on advertising and what it is. You can say Super Bowl, but if the NFL does not actionably, like if they see it and they don't actionably take action against you, they could lose the right to Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's kind of like that thing where like Disney will like sue a grandma into the ground. You know, she names her knitting company like Donald Duck Knitting or something like that. So I think we'll stay off the Super Bowl and the NFL's radar for this, at least just this year. I can't say anything about next year.
All 10 of our listeners aren't going to go rat us out, Mike. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So, but we appreciate all of you. Just don't turn us in. That's all we ask. I've got to tell you, I've had a weekend yesterday. I ended up doing a lot of work on a Saturday, which was not my plan for Saturday. So I went ahead and treated myself to something.
Oh, okay.
Are you familiar with the company Sphero?
It sounds familiar.
They make those BB-8s that you move them around with the controller.
Yeah.
They did a Lightning McQueen one, and then recently they did a Spider-Man based on the Civil War suit, in the Homecoming suit.
Okay, I'm curious how that is. He remote controlled or?
So this one is more kind of like a little series style Spider-Man dude.
Okay.
So I bought the Spider-Man one. It normally retails for $150. Walmart had it for $35 on sale.
Oh, so does it sit there like a statue, and does it have like pre-controlled like gesture movements, or?
He doesn't move around too much. It's more of a talking system. His eyes are LCD panels, and they will create like different forms, kind of like Deadpool's costume.
Gotcha.
And how the eyes work a little bit in there, but like he's very, very emotive with his eyes. I've been charging up right now. I haven't used him a whole lot. He has an app that you do, but you can say, Spider-Man, tell me a story, and he'll.
Is it Tom Holland's voice or just somebody that kind of sounds like him?
I think it's the guy who did the new animated Spider-Man show.
Oh, okay. I just love the idea of Tom Holland having to go into like a VO booth and be like, okay, we need to tell a story, man. We got to put it in a toy.
Yeah. So I haven't played with a whole lot of his features yet, but he's sitting here beside me charging up, and you can take him off the base. He's battery powered, and you can walk him around, and so far he's been pretty cool. Like the little bit I have played with him, but. If you find them for retail, do not pay retail for the son of a bitch. That's my only thing. The other thing is it also doesn't use the internet to connect to talk. It's all on the chip inside of it. So it's not like
that's a smart chip.
Government's not recording you through your Spider-Man. Marvel might
no
be.
No network connection. Well, I'll piggyback off your whole battery situation and electronics. I did 2 battery related things this week. First one, less exciting, was I took part of that $30 iPhone battery replacement. So if anybody out there has just never had the need to ever go to an Apple store like I have, I buy any Apple product I need, off the internet, and usually stuff doesn't break, which I guess says pretty good things for Apple, and I've never had to go in there. So yesterday was my first time I actually had to go in and like talk to like one of those geniuses, if you will. And they did their little battery diagnostics, which was kind of cool because they're just like, all you got to do is turn off your location services, connect to our store Wi-Fi, boop, 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 boop. They bring their iPad out, they connect to my phone. They show me this little bar graph that's just like, imagine like a rectangle that's green. The top left of the rectangle is a perfect battery, and the bottom right of the rectangle, which kind of fades to a gradient a little bit to a little yellow, is like, a battery that's starting to be bad. And there's like a little dot and that floats around that box. And I was close to the bottom right corner, which isn't good. So they had my battery in stock, and it was weird because I was in a mall and they were just like, okay, well, we have your battery in stock. If you just want to give us your phone, you can come back in 2 hours and it'll be done. And I was just like, okay. So I handed over my phone, and I just wandered around the mall without a phone for 2 hours, like some sort of freak. Wow. And like the malls have like there's no, I don't know if you people know this anymore, since everybody has phones and smartwatches. People don't put clocks on walls anymore. You can never know what time it is unless you ask somebody. So I went into a store and I purchased like some shoelaces, and I had to look at the receipt to see what time it was. So I was like, oh, it's only been 50 minutes, damn it. So just to let you know how different the world is when you're not carrying a smartphone around, and I was by myself too. If you're just walking around with somebody else, it's a lot easier, and you have somebody to talk to. I was like, I'm in the mall with nobody and don't have a phone. It was weird. So that was my battery experience, but so far my battery's holding pretty true. I feel like it doesn't feel like I have a new phone, but it feels like I have a less hassle phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always good. I mean, I think you'll see a little longevity out of it as well, which is always the hope when you buy electronics, that you don't have to replace it sooner than later.
Yeah, I kind of turn into old man status when I have like a iPhone for a while, where I just like, I feel like the longer I hold on to it, the more I'm sticking it to the man, the less I'm giving them money. So like, I'm going to hold on to this iPhone 6 until like the iPhone 12 is out, and then I'll buy that one. So I'm holding out as long as I can. But
well, good for you.
But my other battery story is my office is down in sunny Santa Monica on the west side of Los Angeles, a very hip, trendy area with a lot of tech startups. And a new startup down there is called Bird, which is, I don't know if they do anything else, but I guess their flagship product right now are these electric scooters. Now, you don't go out and buy the electric scooter. You rent them by the mileage and the time, and you unlock these electric scooters with an app on your phone, which, seems pretty straightforward, interesting idea. But the craziest thing about these scooters is when you're done with them, you leave them literally wherever you want. Like, you don't have to lock them up. You don't have to find like specific bike racks. Maybe their terms and service that I scrolled through very quickly probably say something along the lines of, just don't leave it in the middle of the road, please. But I found mine, like, I opened up the map, I saw an app to find the closest scooter, and I found mine like literally just in the grass, like off to the side of this sidewalk. And I was like, okay, I guess this is it. And they were really popular. It's the first time I rode one, because as soon as I got up to it and I started to figure out how to unlock it, this other person comes by with a scooter and stops and goes, oh, are you getting that one? This one's almost out of battery. I was going to get that one. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm getting this. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then they scoot away on their scooter. So I was just like, I felt kind of bad, because it felt like this person really needed the scooter, and I was just doing it just for the Instagram story, if you will. So it was pretty fun. I mean, like, it's a fun electric scooter. You scoot around. You can do like sidewalks, or you can do like the street. Santa Monica in certain areas can be pretty like residential, sleepy, so you don't have to worry too much about just like barreling traffic a lot of the times. So when I was done with it, it was just weird. I just like put the little kickstand down, I just left it on the sidewalk, and I hit like the lock button, and then I was done. I was just like, if this thing gets crushed by a meteor, or if some sort of like crazy person steals it for the lithium-ion battery, I'm good. I've officially, it's off my hands. So I went like 2 blocks, cost me like a $1, so it was fun.
I was gonna say, where did you go? You went 2 blocks.
Yeah, I was just testing it out. I was grabbing some lunch. I was like, this is an excuse to at least try it. Apparently the city of Santa Monica hates them, because people are just literally leaving them anywhere, places that they're not supposed to be leaving them. And then you're supposed to be 18 if you want to ride them, but it doesn't really matter as long as your phone is set up to just mimic that you're older than like 18. So I guess a bunch of teenagers are hopping on them, riding two to a scooter, causing a bunch of hell. But yeah, so if you're ever in sunny Santa Monica, give the bird scooter a try. They're pretty entertaining.
I'll take it for a block.
Yeah,
or at least I'll sit beside one and wait till I see someone else trying to come up and get it. And I'll get on it and be like, no, this one's mine.
Yeah, screw you.
And then they walk away. I'll just wait again. It's like a trend.
Yes. Yeah, so that's my burgeoning tech story, but we have a trailer to talk about today, don't we?
We do. We've got some news. We've got a lot of stuff. We've talked a little bit about this already, but I mean, this is pre-Super Bowl news. Post-Super Bowl news is probably going to be huge. So, but let's go ahead and talk about what we got this week because we know what's here. Yeah. First and foremost, Ant-Man and the Wasp dropped a trailer on us right out of nowhere.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
We were like, I think someone said last week that we predicted, like, we probably won't have it until Black Panther, and then it dropped, like, the next day. And we were like, that's our luck on predicting trailers here. So we got a full, this is to me, again, we had semantic issues earlier this week. This is a teaser to me. But, I mean, it's a pretty long teaser. It feels good. I like watching it. What I can't get out of this is I don't know who the villain is. I have no idea what the storyline is, but it is a hell of a lot of quick shots of showing us what kind of new ideas they've come up with for using the shrinking and growing technology.
Yes.
In the Marvel universe. And some of it, I've got to admit, it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, so I've been stewing on this trailer for a while, thinking about, what I'm going to bring up on the show, and I did a little research. I looked up past teaser trailers for our other MCU movies, and surprisingly, this one's actually pretty short for teaser trailer. I don't remember exactly the ones that were a little bit longer, but I searched, different MCU movies with the word teaser trailer on it, and some of the first trailers we see for some of our movies are like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So this was short, I think, for like, 1 minute 40?
Yeah, minute 40.
Yeah, so
that's... I don't even know if there's any extra stuff on it, so yeah.
Yeah, so we do feel a little bit more teaser in this aspect of the trailer. And then I also realized to myself, watching a teaser trailer is something you hardly or rarely ever go back on. Once that first official trailer drops, that teaser trailer is basically ancient, especially once the movie comes out. Like, you almost have no reason to go see a teaser trailer again for it. I went and watched the teaser trailer for the original Ant-Man. Wow, a very, very different feeling of a trailer. That first teaser trailer for Ant-Man 1 is actually really somber and very serious, and they take it just straight towards you with this really intense tone. And it isn't until the very, very, very end where Paul Rudd, aka Scott Lang, is just like, is it still too late to change the name of the suit? So there's only like one little bit of a joke in that first Ant-Man teaser. So this is just a different world when it comes to the Ant-Man teaser, Ant-Man 2. But in my opinion, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We'll talk about the specifics here in a second. But I thought the content within the trailer was cool. I think this is still going to be a fun movie. I'm looking forward to gonna see it on a Thursday night. But I just didn't like the way the trailer was put together. We talked last week, I believe, about how we wish that the Pacific Rim 2 teaser trailer, or I guess not teaser now, it's their second trailer, whatever you call it. It's hard to keep up with these semantics, Chris, like we were saying. But I was annoyed that they used that same song again. They pick a really kind of weird, generic song for this Ant-Man trailer. I don't think Paul Rudd's humor fits very well in a trailer. He needs room to perform. He needs space. He kind of needs some white space put around him and some pauses to make his humor work, so you can't really crank it into a trailer very well. It's very kind of all over the place. I didn't really dig this teaser trailer is what I'm trying to say, but I'm still excited for the movie, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I lean the other way because I know, again, this is not to sell tickets. It's just to say, hey, this is coming up, because we still have Black Panther in 2 weeks. We have Infinity War, Deadpool 2, Han Solo movie, supposedly. I don't know where that one is. But, this is here to show Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to, again, introduce us to some new things that, that happened. Scott Lang is a criminal. Is that how he ended in Civil War? He was in the jail and Captain America broke him out. So this is kind of following and post that. What I really like about this is we get to see, most of this is kind of built on showing the Wasp. We know who Ant-Man is, we know what he is, But why is the Wasp different than Ant-Man in the long run? They both have suits that shrink, right? They should have the same abilities. Well, in this one, as we get to see, we get what I'm going to credit my friend Brian Smith for saying, an actual Blade Runner, because she runs along those knives. And that she has wings and blasters, and apparently the blasters are working full size as well as small size. I really like that. I like the changing of scale that they're kind of showing us a little bit here. I don't think this is all the big gags or the set pieces we're gonna see, but I like that that Michael Douglas shrinks a building and he's got it ready to be a suitcase already.
I have very weird issues with that scene. I don't want to be the nerd that gets too technical about it and ruins it, but him shrinking and enlarging the tank in the first movie made a lot of sense. There's not a lot going on in and outside of a tank. There's no person in it. There's no office furniture. It's easy to imagine him holding it on a keychain and then making it bigger, later down the line, centuries later. But this is a whole office building. As soon as I saw him tilt it, I was just like, all of your furniture is just on the other side of that building. The structural integrity of the inside of that building is just destroyed. So I hope maybe they bring that up in a funny way, or maybe it's a building that they don't necessarily care about, or maybe they're moving out of it. Maybe this is a whole scene that we're just like, okay, well, the movers are gone. We finally moved everything out, and then he shrinks it and then tilts it. And then, all of my little worries and concerns are out the window. But it is kind of funny.
If that's your worry on a movie about people who shrink and fire blasters, you're worrying about the wrong things.
No. Don't reduce it to that argument. But I thought it was funny. It was something that I could very easily imagine on a comic book page of turning a building into a little suitcase. So, good mixed moments around that. But like I said, the Ant-Man movie, there's a lot swirling around it when it comes to jokes. You need the setup, you need the payoff, and we're just seeing middle chunks of it. So
but I mean also, again, this is a preview. This is a highlight reel of this movie, because again, we don't know who the villain is. I mean, I have an idea. We got some photos here of who the villain is. We don't know what the whole storyline is. They're on the run from somewhere. But what I like to see is these things, because the van they're driving shrinks down and then pops up and throws another car for a loop. And they've got the button built into the car. It's not like they have to fire things at it to do it. They know what they're doing with the van. The Hello Kitty Pez dispenser at the end, like I said, feels like it came out of a Deadpool movie kind of moment, but it's still interesting to see we'll just throw small things at people and enlarge them and wreak some havoc.
Yeah, it seems like they have some room to have some fun, because, as we all know, this movie's coming out after Infinity War, which is going to be a huge monumental movie for the MCU. There's going to be a whole lot happening in that movie. And then just, a month later? 2 months later, we're going to be getting Ant-Man and his little story of Pez dispensers. So, very different sides of the coin there.
Well, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, that's if you want to, again, fight superhero fatigue, don't give them the same movie every time. My assumption is also that this is. I mean, they're in San Diego in this one. I believe that's where Captain America or Ant-Man set is in that.
No, I believe it's San Francisco.
San Francisco.
The Bay.
Yeah. So, and Infinity War may take place over a weekend or something. We don't know how long that'll take. If it'll even affect these people in this movie, or if this even takes place afterwards. I really don't. There's a lot of questions we don't know about these, which, we might find out a little bit later tonight. On top of that, we talked about the villain. The villain is a character called Ghost. We got 2 images here that they've released showing Ghost in action. In the first one, it looks like she's stealing the building.
Oh, how could you, Ghost?
Yes, and she's not wearing anything else but this weird suit. So without her little hood on, it looks really, really like Sam Fisher, Splinter Cell looking.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we get to see her on a motorcycle. It looks like she might be part of that chase going on with the Pez dispenser.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool costume. I like the way it looks. It's kind of, I would almost say, bold, picking a suit that is just kind of very muted gray, but it's working for me.
Yeah, so her abilities, in the comic books, Ghost abilities, she's able to phase shift through things. Kind of like a Kitty Pryde, but it's based on the particles in the suit. So I think that's what they're going to do here, because we see one hand in the trailer kind of shifting through multiple phases. So there's that. What I say we didn't see in the trailer is Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we did see a little bit of the what do they call it? Not the sunken place. That's Get Out. The microscopic zone. They had a movie.
The quantum realm.
The quantum realm. Yeah, we saw we saw a little ship surrounded by some tardigrades. Those water bears. Those are really cool animals. So that's kind of neat. So I wonder maybe how long it's going to be into the movie until we go into the quantum realm, trying to find the original Wasp.
Yeah, my assumption is, again, that'll be in the second. They'll show that in the second trailer. They'll leave that reveal for that, because I would assume the general public doesn't know Michelle Pfeiffer is no longer Catwoman, but she is the original Wasp in this. So overall, I gotta say I'm looking forward to this. I've watched this trailer a couple times. I'm not, again, like you said, it's a teaser. You don't go back to it very often.
Yeah, it's almost like we build them up so big because it's the first time that we glimpse the movie, and it creates the hype train and it gets it going. But man, once the train leaves the station, like, it's so far back in the rear view you can't even see it, and you forgot even where you got on the train. So that's why I'm not really harping on it too much. But yeah, just weirdly cut. Let's get a better song in the next trailer. That's my mantra.
I think that's the theme song though for Ant-Man. Like,
I'm gonna need a better sample of it or something. Give me a different section of that song.
See, I'm the other way. I like it. It was very, very. It felt Ant-Man, like this is an Ant-Man song. So I'm the other way on the music. I'm like,
ants.
Lean into it. That is how you get ants right here. That's how you get them. In 2 weeks, we will be reviewing Black Panther, Mike. We will be watching it and reviewing it. This week, the full album, the details have released from Kendrick Lamar, showcasing the cover, which is very simple, black with the necklace, the Panther necklace. And then the back is just the songs and the artist. So far we have the songs All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and ZSA. I hope I'm saying this right. I'm probably butchering a lot of this stuff here. I think King's Dead by J-Rock, Kendrick Lamar, Future, and James Blake is out. And also The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar's Pray For Me is out. So I'm looking forward to getting this. It comes out the 9th. So I think this week, right? Yeah. I think Friday.
Yeah, I mean, that's we've said this before. Kendrick Lamar is like the biggest heavy hitter out there. The Grammy slipped away from him the other week, which, from what I hear out there, was a big upset on his end. So, I mean, dude, you're involved with like possibly going to be one of the biggest opening Marvel movies ever. You should be happy for that. That's for sure.
It's not often, again, on a comic book movie, do you want to go out and buy the soundtrack?
Yeah, that's true.
Or listen to the soundtrack. And this is one of those rare situations where, like, yeah, I kind of want this soundtrack. So I may be looking to pick that up on my digital platforms next week, or just use Spotify. I'll probably honestly use Spotify.
That would be really crazy if Kendrick Lamar gets his album Grammy off of this Black Panther soundtrack. That would be crazy.
That would be well worth it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we never thought that the Grammy for a superhero movie would come before the Oscar.
Yeah, that would be they'd be making news next year. We'll have to come back to that.
Yeah.
But also in Black Panther news, it has now beat Batman v Superman at advanced pre-sales numbers, making it the biggest selling superhero movie of all time.
Which is crazy if you think about it. Obviously, we're all like, oh, well, Batman vs. Superman was a bad movie, of course, blah, blah, blah. Well, we didn't know it was going to be a bad movie when people were buying the pre-sale tickets. And also, I mean, look at that title. Batman vs. Superman, like the top two arguably biggest comic book characters on the freaking planet in a movie together. And then you got this little scrappy little panther coming around making his own movie. And like, Jesus, I think I said the other week that I think that its opening weekend is going to crack the top 5 MCU. And if these numbers are tracking right, I think number 5, I don't remember, I think it's Guardians Volume 2. I think it did like 147 or 148 if I remember right. So, I mean, it might do it. I should have put money down.
I mean, it's still not too late, Mike. You can go and find the bookends or your bookies. So, just looking at let me see here. Opening weekend, 150 would make it the 5th one if it makes 150. So right now, it was tracking for 100 million, breaking 100 million last week. They've upgraded that to 150 million. This week. That's how confident these analysts and tracking numbers are on this movie. They're like, yeah, this is going to be huge. And I've seen a lot of great stories online where people in, urban communities are going out and buying tickets for all the kids in the neighborhood to go awesome. Watch it out, and you buy out the theaters. And more of these stories are pouring in. People are getting, using online funding to fund these tickets and do that. So that is really awesome that this movie can transcend just watching a movie and making lots of money.
It goes to show you the community that's around this. Like, you desperately just want to see a badass, awesome, like, Afrofuturism movie, and this is it. And they're just like, we're going to make sure that Hollywood knows that these movies are going to be successful, and these people are here and they want to see them, and please make more of them.
Well, I don't want them to say that, like, oh, we have, African-American people in these movies, we should make more movies with them. I think we should make good movies inspired by them, because I think what I hear the most about this movie, since the premiere was, I think, Tuesday night or Wednesday night, is that it's very respectful to the culture and, like, very, very well done in that regard. So,
awesome.
I don't know. I tried to avoid the premiere. I don't want to hear anything out of it yet. But
well, I mean, I heard the movie was so good it sent Stanley to the hospital. Oh, bad joke. I only said it because he's fine and he got
he's home.
He got sent home. So
yeah,
I don't think I would have gone there if it.
Mike, don't you dare jinx it. Don't you dare jinx it.
Oh man, now I feel really bad. Okay, I'm gonna knock on some wood here.
Yeah, please do.
Right.
Please do. He's got to make it through at least Infinity War, maybe part 2.
Jeez, man, it made me so nervous when I read that news. It's just kind of one of those things, like, we all know it's going to be time eventually, but we don't want to say goodbye.
Yeah. I mean, not the day after a public screening of the movie he was at.
Yeah, so. Hold strong, Stan. I mean, I don't think he lives too far away. I could drive over, give you some soup, give you a back rub, whatever you need. Whatever you need, Stan.
I don't think he needs you, Mike. He's got enough money to handle himself.
Yeah, well, but I just want him to know. It's the thought that counts.
# Stand Strong. Stand Strong. So Black Panther doing great, but on the flip side, there's this stupid jackass group of people on the internet. These DC fans are attempting to sabotage the Black Panther Rotten Tomato score, the user score, not the critic score. Because they say Disney pays critics to give DC films bad scores and bad publicity.
Oh my god, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And the page is encouraging its users to share spoilers to ruin the movie for fans.
Oh my god, that is the worst. I saw this earlier and I just I didn't even think about it because it was so dumb. But apparently it either gained enough traction or it gained enough eyeballs to where Facebook actually shut the Facebook event down. I don't remember what exactly the criteria was for them doing that. I hope it was just Facebook was just like, this group doesn't actually violate any of our guidelines. We just think you guys are dicks, so we're going to close it down.
Yeah, well, I mean, they only had like 2,000 people, and if you
that's enough for me to be mad that stupid idiots out there.
Oh yeah, well I know it's not like it's gaining a whole lot of traction.
Yeah.
I feel it's kind of like that protest at the Warner Brothers for Justice League with all 8 people.
Exactly.
But I mean, again, at the end of the day, what you see most of the time is a critic score first, and even if they sabotage the user scores, the critic score will still be the same.
Yeah. This is the type of thing that really annoys me because, we do our best to say, like, if you like those DC movies, good for you. I'm glad that you can find something you can take out of them and, at least somebody's having a good time. But this is giving those people a bad name because this just makes me want to rail against DC even harder because you're trying to, like, no Marvel people out there are making fan pages to rail against DC movies and drop their scores because they don't need to.
Well, 9 out of 10 times what I've seen here is that most of the DC fans will bash on Marvel, but you don't really see a lot of Marvel people going out of their way to put down other things. So
yeah, what's that Mad Men meme where you see Don Draper and he just like looks over at some dude and he's just like, well, that's funny. I never even think about you.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things. Oh, man, realistically, I think this is just a bunch of 12-year-olds. I don't think that there's a whole lot of serious grown adults doing this. I think sometimes you always think of the internet as a mirror and you think like, oh, if you're a certain age, the internet's just full of those same people. I can't believe I'm saying this, and I'm surprised I'm even caught up with this news at all. But I guess that was Logan Paul's excuse for trying to apologize for that ridiculousness he did online with filming in the suicide forest in Japan. He legitimately thought that a lot of his audience were people his same age, like in the 20s, but I mean, it's a dumb excuse because you can look at your analytics and see that everybody who loves your page is a bunch of 12-year-olds. So I think that's what is going on here. I think we're overestimating the amount of immaturity on the internet, and those are the type of people that make these dumb Facebook pages. So
to me, it's the alt-right of DC. So they're just really trying to push that fake news agenda.
Yeah, don't let those alt-right 12-year-olds get you down. Legitimate DC fans, you know.
Yeah. So, oh well. Anyway, Black Panther, I think is going to do great. We'll find out in 2 weeks whether Rotten Tomatoes was hacked or not. I guarantee you now, if this has made articles, Rotten Tomatoes is now like, okay, well now we have to be careful and like flag all these things for.
I feel like this is the Streisand effect. They're just making the movie even more hype.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. But we're going to see Black Panther again in Infinity War, which I'm really hoping for a trailer tonight, Mike. Really hoping for a full trailer.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But some news here that just popped up in my news feed here is that there are fake scenes in Infinity War to prevent people from, like, spoilers getting out.
Hell yeah, I love that kind of stuff because it just goes to show you the director knows the weight of the project that they're working on. In this case, the directors, the Russos. So they're just like, yeah, we're going to put out some false flags to really confuse you people out there. So I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. So, I mean, this comes from Paul Bettany, who says they walk you through which scenes were real and fake. So, because there's already been, like, three leaks. So, like...
Oh, man.
I don't know. That's it. And apparently there were only 3 iPads with the real script on them, like, during the production.
Wow. Man, I love that.
So, I appreciate that effort. That's a hell of a lot of effort to go through to keep the fans from learning about things beforehand.
Mm-hmm. It makes me feel safer because I'm so worried about spoilers all the time. So I like knowing that they're actively fighting against it, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
But actually, what I take away from that is me thinking that there's going to be some sort of big, irreversible, catastrophic event that happens in Infinity War if they need to hide it. I mean, I've always been under the assumption that once Part 2 comes out, whatever they call that, someone's dying. A big character is going to die off, but maybe that could happen one movie earlier in this. I don't know.
I mean, it could very well be. It could also just be, things to connect plot points along the way, so you can't figure out the whole plot of the whole movie.
Yeah, I guess it could be.
I mean, there are probably extreme situations, but there are probably like little things too. Like, we don't want people to know that maybe it's Black Widow in the Hulkbuster suit, and not the Hulk. So
I just feel like when Thanos comes to town, you prove his worth by killing somebody. Like, I feel like if I was reading this in a comic book form, Thanos shows up the Earth for the first time, the first thing you do to show how serious you are as a comic book writer is you just find some sort of B-list hero. I feel like it's usually an X-Men, and they just like, okay, Thanos picks up B-list X-Men and squeezes his head into a pulp, and now we know he means business. So
that's they did that with the Civil War 2, they killed off War Machine when Thanos came to Earth. First thing he did kill War Machine.
Yeah, it's always some B-list hero. So maybe that's actually the real reason why Disney bought X-Men. We just need a character we can kill off. Here's a couple $1 billion so we can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. So hopefully we get a full new trailer tonight. Knock on wood. Some new pop images dropped this weekend with the release date. Apparently, if you're looking to get your Infinity War Funkos, they come out March 2nd. So I'm expecting a trailer sooner than later because a lot of these will have characters we've not seen yet on the screen. Yeah,
I think you can get a closer look at Captain America's new shield in those pops, but I think what I saw,
those were action figures. Those are the Marvel Legends series.
Oh, gotcha.
They actually are already released in Australia. They didn't even announce them. They just put them on the shelves in Australia.
Well, that's a different hemisphere. It's already May over there. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, it's the movie's been out for months. So, but yeah, they do have some of the. He's got a vibranium shield. We might see that somewhat maybe on a trailer. So, cross fingers, knock on wood. A trailer we will only get a teaser of tonight, Mike, is Solo: A Star Wars Story. There will be a 45-second teaser during the Super Bowl with a full trailer reveal tomorrow on Good Morning America.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The 45-second, 30-second Super Bowl trailer is kind of the standard. Usually it's only big money like Disney money where we're like, we're going to buy the whole commercial break so you can see our new trailer for our movie that's going to make $1 billion. So 45 seconds seems about right. We'll probably see the Millennium Falcon. We'll probably see Chewie. I'm sure we'll get our first look at Lando, maybe at the very end of the trailer. We'll see Donald Glover turn around with his mustache, and probably some dogfighting a little bit. And I'm gonna guess we're probably not gonna see Jabba the Hutt. Not gonna say at all in the movie, but I don't think we're gonna see him in this teaser. Maybe on GMA.
I don't think so. I think this will be a little bit beforehand. I think we'll see the new Millennium Falcon with the highlighted blues in this new configuration that are coming out in all the toys. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what's on the Super Bowl trailer first and see if it's going to be worth this May release or not, because I'm so conflicted on this movie. So.
Yeah. The most disappointing teaser would be actually a true teaser where like the first 35 seconds would just be slow pans over just like artifacts and props. Like, okay, let's do a dramatic lighting and slow pan over the blaster, slow pan over the belt. Let's do like a slow pan up from the landing gear of the Millennium Falcon. You're just like, it's been 25 seconds. More than halfway through this trailer, we haven't seen shit. So there's a chance that could be how the trailer goes. And then you're just going to have to, I mean, obviously no one's going to be watching Good Morning America tomorrow because nobody does that. You're just going to go on YouTube and try to find the full trailer on Monday.
Well, I mean, I think a part of this also is since Disney does not own the network airing the Super Bowl this year, they do own Good Morning America, ABC. So they're like, we're going to put our own money in ourselves. So, I don't know. We'll be talking about it next week, sounds like. So, we'll roll with that. A trailer we're not going to see tonight is what I've been told is Deadpool 2. So, that's kind of disappointing.
I still think I'm holding true to my fan theory that I said the other week. I think Deadpool is going to invade somebody else's commercial, and that's going to be our Deadpool trailer.
We could definitely see that pop up. I think the more I thought about this after it came out, Deadpool is an R-rated property. They are probably not going to put R-rated trailers on the most watched show on TV for the year. So
I think he's going to be in a Fruit of the Loom commercial. I think you're just going to pan by a bunch of people in like white underwear in a line, and Deadpool's just going to be one of them, and then it's just going to be like there's going to be no mention of it at all. Oh, that'd be so good. I feel like it's too good now, and it's not going to happen. But if you see it out there, you heard it first from me.
You ruined yourself, Mike.
You played yourself.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. You predicted it, and then it didn't come true because you were too excited for it. If he does pop up, I guess I won't be surprised, but we will not be getting footage of the movie here, but I still bank Black Panther will have the first trailer for us, or with actual footage, not that Bob Ross thing. That whatever. Sony has some interesting news here. We've talked about this probably 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago.
Oh wow, okay.
So as of right now, as the current CEO of Sony, Kazuo Hirai, is retiring and stepping down, he will be replaced by the current CFO Kenichiro Yoshida. On April 1st. Yoshida is very much has said he views Sony as a technology-based company because technology will always be around. Yeah. And will probably want to sell off the film and media asset, the film and TV assets Sony currently has.
All right.
Now, this is not a whole... Now, my assumption... Everyone's like, oh, Disney will buy him up. Disney's buying Fox, which is a much more lucrative studio. I think Disney may be like, well, we just want Spider-Man or this property, Men in Black, since that was a Marvel print comic in the 90s. Like, we just want a couple properties. We don't want your whole thing. So that's my assumption. If they do go to sell this summer, Disney may not buy it all, but buy the Spider-Man. But if Sony sold those rights, may not transfer to the new ownership, to the new owners, they may revert back to Marvel Disney anyway. I don't know. Do you think Sony should buy or Disney should buy Sony in its entirety, or just
no? I don't want them to buy it in their entirety. I don't like all of this consolidation. People were worried just about Fox buying it. So I like the idea better if Sony television, animation, movies has to disappear. I like more the idea of the rights getting distributed and kind of piecemealed out. I mean, it's the best thing that you can do. We can't prop up these studios. we can't just like give them like bailouts if it's not working well. I mean, they're corporations; they can sell it off. It is kind of weird when you think about it. Sony having a media company. They make the PlayStation, they make like TVs and stuff. It's kind of weird when you think about it. And maybe they're gonna go make electric cars now or something like that. But yeah, it would be cool if like Disney just got the normal rights to Spider-Man back. They could put a kibosh all of these crazy movies that are going on that we don't understand why they're making all these side ones. I don't know, maybe some of these studios that they're afraid of, like Netflix and Hulu, can buy some of the other rights that Sony owns. I don't even really know what they own, but I mean, Sony Animation Studio is kind of a big deal, so I don't know who would buy that. I mean, that's kind of a player out here in the animation landscape. So, yeah, I don't know. This is a pretty big shakeup, so it's interesting to hear that one CEO could be the whole reason that Marvel gets Spider-Man back, and it's not some sort of split custody nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's so much like rumor and speculation around the Spider-Man like rights. They're like, it could be time sensitive, it could be something else. I don't know. But I mean, I know Sony did. I think they have the. Do they have the James Bond rights? I couldn't remember or not if they did or not. So
yeah, but I think those have very strong time limits on it too. I think those rights bounce around every couple films. So even if somebody bought Sony, I don't think they'd necessarily have a strong arm on Bond forever. So
right, and then Sony has I think Columbia is their studio. If you hear Columbia Pictures, that's Sony's Pictures.
Is Columbia Mission Impossible? I feel like.
I don't think so. I don't see it on a quick list.
Maybe there could be some sort of stacking where we can get Ethan Hunt going against James Bond at some point in time. We've all wanted that movie forever. I don't care if it tarnishes some sort of weird history where people want James Bond. James Bond used to be weird, didn't he? Back in the day, his movies used to be kind of goofy.
It depends. A couple of them, I think it was the Roger Moore era films, like he was just the character for so long, it turned to be like a wink and nod at the camera every couple seconds. Like, we know this is crazy, wink, wink, kind of thing. But then has gone back to more serious lately. Yeah.
I want Ethan Hunt versus Bond at some point in time. Let's do it.
Okay, there we go. I mean, I know Sony. I could pick out, Columbia. I think they might own TriStar and Screen Gems as well. But I couldn't tell you what Sony TV makes off the top of my head.
Okay, Paramount makes Mission Impossible, so maybe Paramount can buy James Bond. I don't know. Okay. Anyway.
I mean, do you know any TV shows that would be Sony off the top of your head?
The only thing that I can think of are shows that aren't airing anymore. I know Community was a Sony property, and then it kind of went over to Yahoo. I think it's still at Sony. But, yeah, I haven't seen the Sony logo in front of a TV show in a really long time.
Yeah, let's pull up TV series. Oh man, there's a lot of TV series going on here. I regret looking into this immediately. And, yeah, Hotel Transylvania seems to be like one of their biggest ones right now.
You're missing the two biggest ones, which is Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, which is a crossover I've been wanting to see for a really long time. I'm thinking aliens. Yeah, I think aliens come down to Earth, and then they possess the Wheel of Fortune. So it's kind of Transformer style where the wheel sits upright, has legs and arms, and then Alex Trebek, it's going to be his job to fight the aliens, but he's going to be lucky because he has lots of trivia, and we're actually really fortunate in this situation where the aliens are a trivia-based society, and they've been getting our radio feeds for the longest time, so he's going to take them out with trivia, but also there's going to be like some sort of ridiculous sword involved, just because this is Hollywood, and there's got to be some hacking and slashing.
You've essentially made this Wheel of Fortune Highlander edition, is what it sounds
like.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, come on, Alex Trebek as the Highlander. I mean, we're just printing money here, Chris. Literally every episode. We can put this, somehow weave it in with our Paddington cinematic universe that we're weaving week by week. So this is just another piece of the puzzle. Hollywood, give us a call. We got a contact form at the bottom of our website.
That's true. Well, I'm gonna switch our notes around here because I think this ties in directly to one of the properties Sony owns.
Okay.
Men in Black. Those are Sony movies, if you didn't know. So if it's the Men in Black coming in to take over or to fix these aliens on these game shows, that's the spinoff that F. Gary Gray is in talks to direct.
Man, F. Gary Gray, who's this guy?
He did Fate of the Furious.
Oh, I hated that movie. I know there's people out there that love the dumb, fun Fast and Furious movies, but it just did not work for me. So I think they're losing their. I think the Furious movies are losing their sizzle.
I am not a Fast and Furious person at all, but he also did Straight Outta Compton, which I think won several awards. Pretty sure, didn't it? Maybe not.
Yeah, I think it got a nom for something. But Fate of the Furious, maybe that was just he wanted a paycheck, So yeah, if he can do Straight Outta Compton, maybe Men in Black can be cool.
Hey, he also did Friday. I mean, the original Friday movie.
Okay, gotcha. What do you do with the new Men in Black movie? Do you just reboot it? Is that all you have left?
It's a spinoff. This is a spinoff, so it would not follow J and K. I assume there are probably more agents doing other things around the world. Maybe they go to space. They never went to space. Do you think they send people into the other alien planets?
Maybe. I think if you have to do a spinoff, like you said, do 2 different characters, anchor it in another city outside of New York. Maybe put it in a city that's close to a space station or something, or a launch pad. Maybe a movie 2 in the franchise.
I would love to see a Los Angeles-based Men in Black because of all the weird people who live out there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And you're like, are they an alien or are they not? No, they're normal. that normal guy, he's an alien. So I don't know. And all the tech-based startups out there, I don't know.
Hey, we're working on something here.
Yeah, it can totally do that. I don't know, but he's in talks to direct it, so I mean, we'll see if it comes to fruition or not, based on whatever happens to Sony. A movie we're definitely gonna keep getting, even if Sony decides to sell off the stuff, is the Venom movie. A trailer has been classified for it, Mike, with no release date yet. This was like at the beginning of January, so they're holding on to this trailer for us.
Yeah, this movie finished filming not long ago. The production, I guess the set production wrapped, so I think they're probably moving on to special effects, getting everything looking nice and pretty. Man, I gotta know what a full fleshed out Venom looks like. I feel like maybe throughout the movie, we're gonna be giving different variations of the symbiote, where maybe he's going to throw a punch and then he's got a symbiote arm, he's gonna kick, he's got a symbiote leg. Maybe there's a moment where he puts the mask on. I feel like there's gonna be some big reveal, maybe in like the middle of Act 2, where he finally gets the whole symbiote on him and he's actually Venom. But I'm really curious what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard to tell what's going to go on with Venom. I'm in that flux state where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm a little excited for it because I haven't heard anything horrible yet. But at the same time, maybe they could try to drop a trailer with Black Panther. Because, I mean, if we get Deadpool and Venom right before a Black Panther trailer, you have a lot of eyes on those movies.
Yeah, I guess it's possible.
So if the trailer's out, but they got to give us an official look at Venom before something leaks. I don't want to see a toy of Venom. I don't want to see a T-shirt of Venom. I want to see Venom as he's going to be in the movie, because that's what's really going to make or break this movie. Agreed. How he ends up looking. Mm-hmm.
And of course the story, the writing, the acting.
It's true, but we're gonna judge this movie based on what that Venom character looks like right off the gate.
Yeah, these trailers, it's all superficial. We don't get a chance to know the person on the inside. We just want to know if they're ugly or not.
Exactly, and we've been fooled by Fantastic Four before. We should have known better. I mean, we looked at X-Men Apocalypse and said Apocalypse does not look like Apocalypse. We're probably going to get a bad movie.
We should have known better. We need a segment on our show just called "We Should Have Known Better."
We should. And in hindsight,
we should have known. We should have known better. Sponsored by Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, superhero since 2020. Yeah, so that could be coming for Black Panther. Speaking of designs, I need your input on Mike here. You're a big Ninja Turtle guy, I feel.
Hey, I like the Turtles.
There's a new show on Nickelodeon coming out called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's replacing the current CG animated one, and John Cena will be voicing the villain, Baron Draxum. So, I mean, that guy's everywhere. But now you get to look at the new design. So first and foremost, we're going to take a look at April O'Neil. Fairly Odd Parents is what I'm thinking here. What do you think?
They're I heard the biggest change that they're making to this show, despite the art direction, is there's going to be magic involved, which explains why she's kind of holding like a glowing, magical, glittery bat. So they're kind of taking this in a different direction, which is gonna introduce like a lot of hate into comment sections, mainly because I heard a lot of people really liked that CG version of the Turtles. I never got around to watching it, but I hear that they're telling actually really good stories, like some serious stuff, and people were really into it. So maybe that's something I can go back and binge watch when it's eventually on a streaming service. So, when you have to follow up like a really successful series like that, you just kind of go balls to the wall and do what you want, because you're kind of looking for a different audience this time around. So we got a different April O'Neil. We got a totally different art direction. It's 2D. They're throwing in magic. So yeah, I mean, like the Turtles is like a historic property of just you can't be too precious with it. Literally it was kind of rocketed to success to make money off of toys. So it's not some sort of like a sparkling intellectual property on a hill that's innocent of not trying to churn out dollars. So yeah, the art direction's definitely different. A lot more, it's, I would say, a little bit more jagged. The turtles' shells aren't so smooth. They almost seem to be protruding from their body.
So
very angular.
I'm gonna give you a little detail on the turtle. Each turtle is based on an actual different turtle in real life. Mm-hmm. Donatello is a soft shell turtle. Michelangelo, I believe, is like a water turtle, and then Raphael, who's been turned into the leader of the group in this new series, is a snapping turtle. And he does not have his size. He has little sticks he beats people with.
Well, yeah, because I always wondered like how they got the size past the approval board for a cartoon. It's like, yeah, he's got these really pokey things, like I guess a sword. Somehow you can make it work because it just looks like a shiny stick. But like, yeah, those size, you're supposed to stab people with those, and you can't be stabbing in cartoons. So yeah, I don't know. I know this is going to turn people the wrong way, but we kind of have that angular design in the new Big Hero 6 cartoon. So maybe that's just a direction that animation is going to go for a couple years. But whether or not a turtle show or a superhero show or a comic book animated show is good or not, it's only ever going to be around for 2 or 3 years until they reboot it again, because the kids get older, So
well, I think you're skipping over a couple big points here. First off, everyone is young in this. This is not it's called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so they're maybe in training as it is.
Yeah, this is like Turtles Year 1.
Yeah, April O'Neil, she's a young girl, looks like, maybe early teenagers. They've also made her African American, which it's a bold choice. It doesn't offend me. I'm not precious on the Turtles, but she's not a reporter, working for a news station down the road.
She probably works at her school paper, I would assume.
Yeah, and then Splinter, they have just made him ugly as sin.
Yeah, that's I guess that's one thing that I can go ahead and kind of maybe be a little annoyed about. He is a weird looking rat. But I mean, I guess if you think New York sewer rat, you usually don't think too pretty. But yeah, it almost looks like a character out of like Kung Fu Panda almost, I would think.
Say the artwork reminds me of Ren and Stimpy, just kind of glancing at it.
Yeah, he's kind of short and stout, but he looks mean. He looks like he could really beat your ass, that's for sure.
Yeah, so that's coming on. And just to let you know, I know this from working at the comic book store, the CGI show, at least I think most of the seasons are on Hulu for you, Mike, if you want to.
Oh, hey, maybe I'll give it a shot.
They've been putting those on at the comic book stores like background noise for the customers. So I know they're on there if you want to catch up on those. Yeah. So you can take a look at our Turtles and all the Aprils and Splinter stuff below. It looks different, that's for sure.
So the Turtles is an intellectual property that is deserving of a documentary if there's not one out there already. There's just been so many iterations and so many flops and so many blockbusters. So I would love to just sit down and watch like a 2-hour doc about just from beginning to end. Kevin Eastman, you did something pretty crazy.
Yeah, you took a bold chance and it paid off.
Yeah,
in the end, that's very true. You like Westworld? I'm a big Westworld guy myself.
Yeah, it's coming back this year, isn't it?
Season 2 is this year, and the trailer will be debuting at the Super Bowl, which is interesting. The TV show is getting a trailer at the Super Bowl. So
yeah, well, I mean, they gotta find a way to appease the Game of Thrones crowd. They're just like, okay, we get it. It's not coming out this year, but we got this shiny Westworld toy to look at.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what to expect. The first.
I expect the nudity per episode to drop, because I feel like that's what HBO does, is put as many butts and boobs as you can in that first season, because that's how we're gonna get them hooked.
Yeah, it's gonna. And then they're like, okay, now one every 2 episodes.
Yeah, we're gonna space it out. By the time we get to the last season, you're not gonna see a nipple for miles.
if you like Thor Ragnarok and Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson, the first time I ever saw her in a show was in Westworld season 1. So
yeah,
it's a good show. I like it. Don't read about it. Don't look into it. Just go watch it. That's the best way to do it. Speaking of HBO shows, Watchmen is on the horizon, and the Nicole Kessel, who is known for working on The Leftovers, will be directing the pilot for this. So
yeah, I have not seen The Leftovers, but I've heard good things about it, so I assume this is a good thing. I'm looking forward to a Watchmen series. I think it will lend itself well to kind of the dark audience and atmosphere of HBO. So I think they're going to be pumping enough money into it. I mean, this actually could be a really big deal because I feel like some of the Netflix Marvel shows, even though they're kind of the best versions of superhero TV shows that we've seen, I feel like you can still see the budget every once in a while on that. I feel like when you're watching something on HBO, you're not usually seeing the budget. So I'm looking forward to see how this goes. Yeah,
and it's also really cool that they didn't pull like a Zack Snyder or someone who directed the movie version to come do the pilot either.
Oh yeah.
They cast this. I mean, I don't know this lady very much myself, so they cast a female director to come in and take over this big property for at least the pilot. And that's really cool. I mean, that's great news for them. So looking forward to that. Another show on the horizon is Metropolis. We've been avoiding Krypton, right? So Sci-Fi was like, Krypton sounds great. Let's go ahead and work on Metropolis, a show based on the DC city, Metropolis, which will focus on the adventures of Lois Lane and Lex Luthor. Not together, but like those are the two main characters.
Boo. Let's just go ahead and greenlight another show that Superman's not in. Let's just make Smallville, where everyone's in it except for Superman. Like, I just don't get it. Like, Superman's cool. Can we just get a decent version of Superman that we like? We can't get him on the big screen. I don't watch Supergirl, and I don't think really anybody's watching Supergirl, unfortunately, at least that I know of. So I know he's on there, but I don't know how often he pops up. I will get to see him for the first time because I do know the Supergirl Flash crossover is going to have Superman in it. So we will get to see at least a version of the Flash that we like with hopefully a version of Superman that we like, but who wants to watch Metropolis without Superman? I don't know, not me.
So, are you talking about like next fall's crossover, or is there another crossover coming up?
I think it's episode 18 of The Flash. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I mean, we have a show called Gotham, and despite its best attempts, it's still on the air. Krypton,
I mean, at least Bruce Wayne is technically in it. I mean, you can see Batman; he's just not Batman yet.
Right, exactly, and it's apparently evolved to just embrace its weirdness and it's got all sorts of characters. Krypton has nobody we know in it. Superman's, beard belly grandpa is hanging out in some tight clothes, is what we saw. And now they want to do Metropolis with Lois Lane and Lex Luthor. Sci-Fi, just stop. Just focus on something else.
What universe are you creating? Did you sign some sort of contract where DC said you can make literally whatever show you want as long as Superman's not in it? Like, I just feel like they're just really twisting that towel trying to get every drop that they can get out of it.
I like your idea of Smallville, but it's just the daily lives of the people in Smallville.
Yeah, it's just actually a really nice, quaint, just romantic comedy TV show, just about people going on dates, taking people to the sock hop dance, and just every once in a while people are just like, didn't Superman come from here? Yeah, but he lives in New York now. Let's just go down to the farm and pick some
once a year in the summer hiatus. Superman comes and visits for his family reunion. And
so the season premiere of every episode of Smallville is just like, oh man, wasn't that a great summer? I'm so glad Superman came back and visited. He did all those great acrobatic things, and remember when he lifted up that very expensive building and blew up that thing across town? Wow, what a spectacle. If only I could have seen it. Too bad I left.
Now back to milking cows. Let's go check out what's going on over in this barn. So that's coming along. They're working on it. Teen Titans is looking to cast Ra's al Ghul as the villain. It sounds like. It sounds like they can put him in almost everything, unlike Superman.
So I have an inside source for Titans. I'm working on cranking out some information, but I think I might be able to get a little info sooner rather than later, maybe for Titans. But I know this show has been in production for a little bit, so I don't know. Maybe we'll get actually some sort of teaser trailer, maybe before I even get my insider info, because we saw some of those set shots. Yeah. Not set shots, but we saw our official look at Nightwing / Robin for the first time. So maybe something's going to be dropping maybe at Comic-Con this year.
Well, so for this to get a teaser or a trailer, they have to announce the network it's going to be on, which is
it's going to be on the
streaming
DC,
network.
Yeah,
but they haven't announced that yet. So I think we'll get those at the same time. Like here's our network name, and when you can sign up for info, and here's the first show that's going to be on it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is off of the top of my head, but I think something else is being teetered around for that DC streaming app. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head.
Was it Teen Titans Season 3, wasn't it?
No, it was something else. I don't know if it was original property. I think the headline might have been like successful showrunner signs deal for DC streaming app or something like that. But I think they're trying to make it a thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna look. Where is it gonna be?
I don't remember where I saw it, but
now I need to figure out where. It was Teen Titans Season 3. No, it wasn't Teen Titans, was it? Is that the show?
Well,
Young Justice Season 3.
Well, I'll let you Google into it, and I'll actually segue into the next news item because I actually looked into this earlier this week. I came across it. Speaking of Titans and speaking of the DC Universe, we have Aquaman coming out later this year, and we finally got confirmation of something that I've wanted to know for a very long time, is Black Manta's in this movie. He's going to be our villain for Aquaman 1. Is he going to have that cool badass helmet? That's the iconic thing that we know about Black Manta, and we have a photo of I don't remember the actor's name for Black Manta, but he's in a voiceover booth and he's talking into a plastic trash can because he said he's trying to mimic that giant sound from inside of a helmet.
Yeah. So it looks like he will have the helmet on in some of this, and they will have to ADR his voice over that. So
yeah, I do like the idea of. I hope that trash can reverb is the final audio, because I think that's hilarious when just something so practical can just like, oh wow, this really works. I can't believe the trash can worked. But yeah, that Black Manta helmet is gonna look so badass in real life. Like in comic books, it's always so imposing. In the Young Justice cartoon, it's killer and badass. And even Aqualad gets his own little kind of a Black Manta helmet in one season. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to look like.
Yeah, and speaking of Aqualad, it is Young Justice Season 3 will also debut on the DC digital platform.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what it was. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what the helmet. I need to see some more Aquaman stuff. I'm really surprised they're kind of holding back on it. I know it's December, but I mean, I would keep people, ready for it, because I mean,
I'm sure that there's a giant calendar on the wall over at Warner Brothers where they just have big X's when they think Marvel news is going to drop. And when the Marvel movies are to come out, and they're just like, where's a nice window where we can tell people more about Aquaman? And then just when they land on the weekend, like Marvel comes out with some sort of like 10-year anniversary TV special where they show like, I think that's what they did for like a year or two ago, wasn't it? They like had that reunion and they had some footage and some interviews, and they're like, oh crap, we were trying to show off some Justice League stuff, or maybe it was Batman vs Superman stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I mean they've got to give us something on this, man. They got to give us something this year. The movie Overlord. Have you heard of this movie yet? It's
I don't know. Is this a code name?
Yeah. Well, not really. The name of the actual movie, I think, is what it was. It's a bad robot film, and it will actually become Cloverfield 4. Is the rumor right now?
Oh, cool.
On this movie is about on D-Day, American paratroopers are dropped in lines to carry out a mission crucial to the invasion's success. But when they get there, they realize more is going on in this Nazi-occupied village than just military stuff. So they end up fighting against supernatural forces as part of a Nazi experiment.
Well, the other week when I was saying on the pod that I was at a poker night and I was chatting with a really big fan of the Cloverfield franchise, I was kind of grilling him for answers because I hadn't seen Cloverfield in forever, and I was like, so what's the deal with this Cloverfield monster? Is it from space? Did it fall on an asteroid or what happened? And he was just like, no, it's been on the Earth. It was like buried under the ground and then it was awakened or something like that. Yep. So that totally makes sense that even back in D-Day in World War II, that there could be some alien influence even in the past.
Well, I like the thing about these. If this is, if they're looking to drop 2 Cloverfield movies this year, that'd be awesome. Like,
that would be so cool.
But I like that it's kind of like a Twilight Zone-esque kind of thing. To be honest, that each one doesn't really have to connect to the last one. They're just thematically kind of there. Because 10 Cloverfield Lane I couldn't see any connection from that one to the first one, to be honest. So if they want to keep them separate, but they still keep that Cloverfield name, kind of like a Black Mirror kind of movies, that'd be pretty cool in my book. Different genres, just very crazy kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it would be kind of interesting if this is just a clever way to kind of back into a franchise. So we have like 5 or 6 movies of all of these like different stories, and then if the time aligns right with the actors and where these movies are set, maybe there is kind of more of a traditional final ending movie that's kind of like a blockbuster action movie, and we get to see some of our familiar faces again that have made it through these very trying times, and maybe we get to see like some sort of spaceship battle or something. But yeah, wouldn't that be interesting to do different types of genres in the Cloverfield universe? Maybe there could be a romantic comedy version of Cloverfield some way. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But I mean, if this is what they plan on doing with the franchise, that's cool. I'm cool with it.
Oh, man, I just had the best idea.
Oh, no.
So for the romantic comedy version of Cloverfield, it goes straight to Lifetime Network. It never even makes it to a theatrical release, and they just unabashedly put it on Lifetime. Still big budget, and it's just like Lifetime just like, I can't believe that you're bringing us this movie. We'll take it.
I honestly have no idea, but yes, sure, why not?
Well, it'll coalesce, I'm sure, with the Lifetime streaming app, which if it doesn't exist, I'm sure they're trying to make it a thing.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you if it exists or not, but it probably does. It probably does. You like Mario? You like playing some Mario?
It's me, Mario.
No.
I want to play Mario
Odyssey?
Odyssey so bad, but I don't have the ability to.
You have someone nearby who can bring it to you because it is a portable gaming system. So, but Mario is officially getting an animated movie in a partnership between Nintendo and Illumination, who is known for making Despicable Me movies and Sing, and we are going to get a Mario movie from this.
Man, this could be Nintendo's time. We've been trying to figure out how these video game movies were going to be a thing. Maybe the problem was trying to make it live action. Maybe there needs to be some sort of like animated kid-friendly aspect of these video game movies to make it a thing. We're getting Detective Pikachu, surprisingly, but freaking Ryan Reynolds is attached, so we know everyone's going to go see that. Pikachu is probably one of the more iconic cartoon designs on the planet right now. Everybody knows what Pikachu is. Even if they don't know what Pokemon is, people know what Pikachu is. So an animated Mario movie, I have very large questions of, who is voicing Mario. If they're voicing Mario, is it going to be that Italian accent? Is it going to be a whole cast of characters? Is it going to be set in the Mushroom Kingdom? Like, what's going on here? Do you do kind of the Lego movie approach where you do like a wink and nod to the camera that we understand what we're doing is ridiculous and it's going to be a fun time? Is it going to be just a parody of making fun of other video games? So many questions here. Mario is such a huge property, but how do you translate him to the screen when most of the time when you hear him in a video game, he's just going whoop, ha, woohoo. He's just making noises. We never really hear him deliver a monologue. So how do you make Mario deliver a monologue without just laughing hysterically because it's so weird?
I don't know, but I mean, if Nintendo feels confident enough to finally put the rights back out there since the 1993 version of the movie that was so terribly received.
Yeah.
It might be a good time. Also, in terms of Nintendo and today's world, there's a Mario Kart game coming to mobile next March, a year in 2019. So we can play Mario Kart on our phones against each other, Mike.
All right.
So,
well, I think if they can find a clever way to make all of the characters' voices normal, I think that would be the best viewing experience for me. I don't want to hear Mario's accents for 2 hours. Maybe like the movie starts with the accent and then he clears his voice and he's just like, oh man, I'm just getting over a cold. Sorry, it makes me sound like an Italian plumber when I get sick. And then just the whatever actor that they cast, I don't know, probably like Ed Helms or something like that, is just the normal voice for Mario. I think that's the safest way to move a franchise forward with the ridiculous voice. So that's my theory there.
I don't know. I think they'll figure it out. I mean, they worked out Legos sounding normal, so I'll give them some benefit of the doubt here. I did like Sing. Sing's not a bad movie from Illumination as well. So that's our news for this week, Mike. We've got 2.5 hours till kickoff. So
yeah, I got some buffalo chicken dip to make. I gotta eat some cookies. I gotta get fat, man.
You gotta get fat. You can't just have it. You gotta get there. You gotta work for it. So let's go do that, Mike. If people want to know what you're up to, where can they find you at, buddy?
Well, they can find me at Mike Royer Design on Instagram and Twitter. And if you followed me, you could have seen my chronicle of figuring out where that electric scooter was and figuring out how to ride it, which is very difficult to do because it's a scooter. You got to balance. It's hard to record. It was ridiculous, but it's done and gone. It's in the ethereal plane of a server out there, so I don't know if you can find it anymore. But that's where you can find me. Chris, if people want to find you, I think you're doing some home improvement stuff today. Maybe you're going to post some of that online. Where can they find you?
Yeah, I've got some new bookcases to put up in my office to make. It's going to be an Inhuman little area for my Inhuman stuff. Excuse me. You can find me on Twitter at Valdan, VALDAN. You can see what's going on there. I've been watching one Marvel movie a week, waiting for Infinity War. So I'm going to set up for the big game. I've got my light set to flash whenever the team scores a touchdown. So,
nice.
So when I'm not paying attention during the actual game, I'll know what's happening. You can also head over to Comic UI, check out some stuff there. Go to YouTube, search the DNN, Destination Nation, and see some videos I put up there every week. Mike, if people are listening to Superhero Slate for the first time, where else can they find us at?
Well, as always, please visit superheroslate.com. That is the best place to find all the avenues we host our little show if you want to connect to us on a digital realm that maybe you're not familiar with, and to get our awesome show notes. So if you want to check out that Ant-Man trailer and for some reason you can't find it, or you want to see that tweet for the full album release of Black Panther, or even the screenshots of those Ninja Turtles, that might be a little harder to find. You can get that in our show notes at superheroslate.com. But you can also find us on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher. You can subscribe and get us right in your email inbox every week if you wish, and you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You can get Superhero Slate merch at superheroslate.com/store. And if you're a fan of the show, we'd love it if you'd give us a review. I think that's awesome. A great way to kick off the year. It'd be such a wonderful Valentine's present to show your love for the show, to leave us a review, whether you're listening on Stitcher, drop us a comment, or subscribe on YouTube, or, of course, iTunes, which is like the main playground for podcasts. We'd love an iTunes review from you. That'd be great. And if you want to be a super fan of the show, that super fan status, all you got to do is share the show with a friend. Share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week. So make sure you're subscribed and keep track of those feeds out there. You might be seeing stuff pop up from Superhero Slate.
Yes.
There you go. Like I trailed off there at the end, but there you go.
I don't know what he's going with this, but we put out episodes. 2 weeks till our next review episode. Really excited for that. And thank you guys for listening and commenting and being our friends. I appreciate it.
Stay tuned, everybody.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week.
All right. Adios.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
You just need like a chuckle.